Demacia! Demacia!
Demacia!
Demacia!
Demacia!
Demacia!
Bumblebee!
What?
Bumblebee!
That's how I do my Optimus voice.
Bumblebee! See, now you have it sound like he's kind of like, has like, I don't know.
Orgasm.
It's like, Bumblebee! Sounds like old Granny Optimus, honestly.
Bumblebee! Get your ass back here! Give me a sponge bath!
That's just creepy. Okay, let's test out the mic. Okay. So, tested microphone. Sounds good. So, we're reading more Prisoner of War.
And a very special happy birthday to Princess of Queens.
Yes.
Who I invited to read with us, but unfortunately she didn't reply in time, so we kind of got to get this done before I have to go home.
Yes. We're sorry, Pock.
Pock.
Pock. Or maybe Poku, maybe? I don't know. So anyway, we're reading for, I don't know, how long you want to read, dear? We're going to read at least one chapter. Maybe two. Fucking Skype. Stupid. Alright.
I have the ponyfy turned off, so none of the words should be pony words, but if they are, well...
I think I should be able to catch myself.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Chapter 3, Open Road.
Bumblebee.
Wait, I'm knockout.
You're knockout. Sorry, you go ahead.
Bumblebee.
Knockout called.
Are you coming or what?
Yeah, but B sighed and turned around. Knockout revved his engine and took off with B right behind him.
I picked up some human radio channels, and there is a big race at the dirt track tonight. We could wreck their party. That is, if you're con enough.
Con enough? That statement was one B thought he would never hear someone ask him. B was in no way con enough to cause harm to anything. Sure, he liked to race and goof off, but when was the last time that got anyone hurt? Trick question. The drive there seemed to take a long time, and the more they drove, the more B thought about his current imprisonment. Did this really count as being a prisoner? Being a prisoner was supposed to be a punishment, locked up without any freedom, and Knockout was supposed to be an energon-sucking Decepticon. But instead, he was asking B to race with and raise hell with him. B wondered if he should feel awful about it or honored. Decepticons were bad. They didn't even trust each other. So gaining the trust of one was as rare as a newborn sparkling. But then again, it was a bad thing, right? B had gained the trust and friendship of one of Megatron's favorite comrades. Autobots would not respect that at all. Another thing that was bothering B was that he was being so good about all of this. He was not stressed or upset, really. He was calm about all of this. Even when Megatron threatened to rip out his spark and destroy him, he let it go. B was good, and it was confusing him. A good and wise Autobot would do one of two things. One, to blast Knockout out of the sky and take off to find the others. Or two, stay put and do as he is told and staying true to his word and promise to Megatron. But Megatron had been back for nearly half a year now, and Optimus has been smart and wise enough to stay out of the way, and at least know when to fall back. So what if B went back on his word? He could take off right now and go back to base. Everything would go back to normal. Optimus and Megatron and Optimus and Megatron would go head to head like always, but if Optimus comes after him and starts to fight first, the deal would be off anyway. But there are two small, very small things stopping B: Knockout and fear. B was not scared of Megatron or of dying. He would lay down his life for Optimus and his team, but that was the problem. Would Optimus be upset with B for making the deal with Megatron? His fear was of Optimus's options and thoughts on the whole thing. Optimus was not one to judge anyone, but then again, he never was put in a position like this before. Wonder if this was one thing in the universe that would set Optimus off. You're kidding me, right? One of the only reasons one of two reasons why B is not going back to the Autobots right now is because he's afraid that that Optimus would be mad at him.
Yeah?
Are you kidding me?
No.
Eh,
I think it's a really good reason.
are you?
That's like me sneaking home at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Do
I
you,
know
do
my
you
parents-
realize how dense you would have to be to honestly think that's a legit reason not to run back to your comrades instead of being a prisoner?
Do you want to go back in the box?
I never was in a box.
I'll put you in a box.
Please
Cardboard
don't.
box.
Please don't put me in a box. I'll keep reading. I'm sorry.
Where did we leave off?
Speaking of Optimus, that name sent awful pulses through B's spark. It was the feeling you get when you really need that person, need them really bad. Sam is snuggling me right now. Optimus's absence was one that B could not stop feeling. Even if Ratchet, RC, Bulkhead were driving right beside him now, he would still be felt alone. He would still feel alone, not felt. And what about Knockout? Knockout had been so nice and caring for B, not caring if he was an Autobot or not. He was risking his life at this very moment. He entrusted his life to B. If B was to run off, Knockout would be in deep slag with the entire Decepticon army. But still, he chose to bring B back here, and B could not just leave him. Not while B was the only one Knockout had right now. Breakdown could honestly care less about the medic. Starscream was the closest to Knockout next to Breakdown, but no one knew where the Slice Seeker was. Then something came to mind. Wonder if B could gain the trust and friendship of the higher ranked cons, such as Soundwave and Arachnid, maybe even Breakdown. But he would have to be careful with that. B could destroy the Decepticons from the inside out. Optimus wouldn't have to fight or worry about it anymore if B could handle it. What are the chances that B could do something like that? He quickly dismissed the thought.
You okay?
Knockout brought B back from his thoughts. B noticed that they had gotten on the 2-lane highway and Knockout was right beside him.
You haven't said a word this entire time.
Yeah, just thinking, B told him.
About what?
Knockout asked. The question did not surprise B, at least not anymore. Knockout really wanted to know, and he would listen. B felt like he could tell Knockout. I mean, who was Knockout going to tell anyways? He would never tell Breakdown, Soundwave, who cared if he knew? Knockout knew Soundwave all too well, believe it or not. Megatron's greatest and most loyal soldier keeps secrets from the Warlord, and whatever was on B's mind was not important enough to bother Megatron with anyway. Another thing Decepticons hated and were bad at, feelings.
Sorry. I just thought of something in my mind.
Oh god, I don't even want to know.
Oh, no, it's a song our teacher used to sing to us about when we were learning the Dewey Decimal System as children. And, I think, the 400 books were feelings, whoa, 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 feelings, whoa, 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 feelings.
I wonder what Optimus is doing, B said. I miss him. I'm sure
I'm sure he misses you too.
Knockout said. Comfort for a con. Also a very awkward feeling for both of them. Really?
I think it's funny.
I know he does, B said, and it was hardly loud enough to hear, but Knockout managed to hear it. I feel it.
Feel it, you say?
Knockout said. Last night, when I was in my cell, I could feel Optimus's spark as if he was right beside me. I heard his voice, B went on. Well, I really didn't hear it. It was like my spark heard it. Does that make sense?
It does.
Knockout said. If he could, he would be smiling right now.
It does not surprise me that Prime's bond is so strong.
Bond? B slowed down and his horn beeped slightly.
You cannot pick the ones you fall in love with.
Knockout added. B did not hear. Knockout zoomed past B. B let out a small chuckle and chased after him. Just so you know, you're going to lose the race tonight. The lace? You're going to lose the lace tonight. Race tonight. B pulled up next to Knockout and passed him with ease.
You are so dead.
Knockout laughed as he sped up. Did you really have to laugh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, who's gonna do Ratchet?
Optimus. Optimus. No, that sounds sexual.
Optimus.
That just sounds like he's a smoker or something. Optimus! I know I'm a medic, but I need cigarettes now. Optimus, give me some cigarettes.
No, Ratchet. You've had enough today.
I need my fix. I've only smoked 3 packs.
Ratchet, that's enough.
Optimus. No, Optimus. We're gonna find out my
Optimus.
No.
Optimus.
No.
Optimus.
Optimus. Optimus.
Okay, just go with it.
Optimus. There we go. That was pretty good.
That was good.
Optimus. Ratchet called. Optimus appeared beside the medic and leaned down to look at the screen. Ratchet looked down and stepped back, giving Optimus room to reach over the computer. Optimus had not talked to anyone since last night, even when Ratchet came through the ground bridge to help wake Optimus and the others. Optimus did not say a word. And he did not need to. Everyone doubled, no, tripled their work. Ratchet typed and worked on the computer all night and through the day. Ratchet was stressing himself in the max and worrying himself thin. It was not the fact that he was trying to get his hardest to get a fix on B's location. It was the fact that all his stress and worry was for B's safety.
Hey, it was not the fact that he was trying his hardest not to get a fix.
I need a cigarette.
Okay.
B was in every way Ratchet's sparkling. Now, he was not really B's sire. His sire was unknown, but Ratchet was the one to take the name of his sire as his sire. Ratchet was the one who saved him from the youth sector. Ratchet was the one who put in the time to raise him. Optimus helped when he could, but B was born at an awful time. The war had just broken out when he was sparked, which left Optimus busy beyond belief. Optimus tried every minute of the day to get away so he could spend some time with the yellow charge. Okay, this just makes it even more awkward. Bumblebee, Ratchet, Optimus called. Ratchet didn't realize that he was still staring down at the ground. He shook his head and looked up, surprised that Optimus was even talking. Yes, Optimus? Ratchet hummed. Your readings, Optimus smiled. They say that B is heading downtown. He is chasing a Decepticon. Ratchet nodded. Yes, well, you better call the others. They are still scouting the area. Apparently, RC was just 5 miles from B's current position. Bulkhead is not far behind. Ratchet told as he walked back to the computer inside. I will stay here and keep an eye on the screen. Optimus tilted his head and placed a hand on Ratchet's shoulder. You are not well? Optimus asked. I am fine, Optimus. Just tired and worried. Ratchet grinned. I will sleep in peaceful recharge when Bumblebee is safe. I know that feeling, old friend. I have not been a good leader in our time of need. Optimus pulled his hand off Ratchet's shoulder and looked down.
Oh my gosh, I wish we were doing a video of this so people could see how hard I'm face palming.
I'm sorry.
No, I just think it's friggin' hilarious that you're doing 2 voices and they're having a conversation. It's like you're talking to yourself.
I'm going crazy.
You weren't before?
I was even more crazy now.
Oh, makes sense.
Don't be silly, Ratchet huffed. You are just as worried as I am, if not more. Ratchet went on. I'm starting to sound like Starscream.
No, it's too deep to be Starscream.
Yeah. Optimus, you are just better at hiding it. Optimus smiled at Ratchet, who smiled back. Optimus reached up and turned on his comlink. Autobots, Ratchet is sending you the coordinate.
Coordinates.
Coronate. That's a great way to spell coordinate.
I know. Shush.
It's funny. I mean, it's cute, kind of. To B's current location. Await my command, Optimus said as he transformed and drove through the ground bridge that Ratchet had waiting for him. Ratchet turned off the power once Optimus drove through the bridge. He sighed and leaned up against the wall, his eyes fixed on the screen. B's signal was still speeding downtown, but now the con was chasing him. Oh, B, Optimus is coming, Ratchet said. He will bring you home.
Right on time.
Knockout said as B pulled onto the dirt track. They headed toward the end, where 6 other cars were lined up. A man in a long black coat and dark blue jeans stood in the front. As Knockout and B turned around to line up with the other cars, the man spoke into the radio.
Got 2 more here. Yeah, that's the voice I'm doing. Yeah.
If you're going to go with a Russian accent, you've got to do it a little bit better than that. You just sound retarded. You need to drink more vodka.
Aye.
Da.
Duh.
Da.
Got 2 more here. We're gonna go with that.
Okay, he said.
The red one and the yellow one.
He walked over to Knockout and leaned over the hood, looking into pitch black windows.
Wow, nice ride. What's your name, Racer? They call me Knockout.
The car said, but Knockout said it lightly. It sounded like it came from inside the car. The man nodded and told the people through the radio his name. Then he walked over to B and leaned over to his hood.
Now this is a ride. Fastest car here. I bet my money on it.
The man smiled and patted the hood.
What's your name?
B could not answer because he could not talk, so he did the only thing he knew how. He turned on his radio and said, I'm a...
I just died a little inside.
I died a little more. Oh, God. Oh, bad music. Bad
Okay.
music. Bad music. Okay. I think you guys could get what I was going to say there. So we're just going to skip that line. I don't think I can say it and still live. I'm off my groove here.
You want me to read for you?
No, I got this, I think. The man raised an eyebrow, but smiled.
I guess it's Bumblebee.
B blew his horn. The man snorted and told the people his name.
Alright, racers, I want a clean race. On your marks.
The man stepped off to the side. All the cars started their engines.
Get slow.
Yeah, you're going a little far off yourself. We got more explaining to do. Knockout started his, and the roar of his engine filled the air. Everyone in the crowd, even the people in the other cars, stared at the red car.
Oh, get set.
B laughed and started his engine, revving it loudly, straining his engine to be as loud as possible. Everyone's jaws dropped, and the kids yelled and laughed. The men cussed, wishing their cars and trucks sounded like that. The women talked to each other about how hot it was and what they wanted a ride in that car.
B.
Knockout laughed, while trying to rev his engine just as loud.
Stop showing off.
B relaxed and the sound died. The man was still in shock, but he managed to yell,
Go!
B and Knockout burned rubber and took the lead. The other cars were trying their best to stay with them.
How many laps did he say?
Knockout asked as he raced up next to B. I don't know, B said.
I guess we quit when we realize we're the only ones still racing.
Knockout hummed a chuckle. Or we may have to drop out, B gulped. Look in our rear view. Knockout quickly adjusted his mirrors.
Oh, I'm slagged.
Knockout slammed on the gas. In his rearview mirror, Optimus, Bulkhead, and RC were passing the other racers and coming up behind B and Knockout.
What?
I'm reading. I'm sorry.
You're supposed to be doing that out loud.
I'm face palming when I'm.
You're supposed to be doing that out loud. You know that, right?
Yes.
You're not allowed to read ahead. I wasn't allowed to read ahead when we were reading Ponies. You're not allowed to read ahead when we were reading Transformers. Don't pretend to slap me.
Knockout this way! B yelled. B slammed on the gas and turned a very sharp right. Knockout followed his lead as they spun off the track and started heading for the road. Knockout stayed on B's tail as he led them down Main Street and turned off onto the road that led back to the Autobot base where Knockout and B could return to the ship.
B, what are you doing?
Knockout yelled.
You are running away from Optimus?
Yeah, I still can't believe it, but I can't let them get you. I can feel Optimus. He is beyond pissed. He will kill you, and if I leave you and you go back to the cons, Megatron will kill you. B turned off the road and headed up for the rocky cliffs. Cliffs. I can say it. I can say cliffs. I know I can.
B, this is crazy.
Knockout.
And I just met you.
So here's my number.
So call me maybe. And I'll beat up the cons that try to rape you. So here's my number. So call me maybe. You know what the funny part is? He actually does give B his phone number.
Knockout was starting to panic a little, sorry.
Stop!
No! I won't let anyone hurt you, Knockout! B transformed and skidded to a stop. Knockout transformed and ran right into B, causing both of them to fall.
Yep. Keep reading.
Causing both of them to fall, with Knockout on top. They both groaned and moaned from the impacted. B tried to move, but Knockout was like dead weight on him. Knockout! B tried to see if he was okay. Knockout shot his eyes open when he realized he was on top of B.
Oh man, I'm sorry, B.
Knockout started to get up, but stopped when he looked into B's eyes. B stared back, unsure what to do or say. He wanted the dirty con off of him, but he didn't want to push Knockout away. Their sparks stopped when the headlights hit them. B and Knockout looked up, still not moving. Optimus and the others were standing there with their guns pointed at Knockout. Optimus stepped forward. If looks would kill, Knockout would be dead, and B would be wounded. Optimus' face had never looked so angry. So angry. For a split second, he reminded Knockout of Megatron when he was mad. Optimus was growling too, and it was not a cute, puppy, playful growl. It was an angry, hungry wolf growl. It sent chills down Knockout's spine.
Both Knockout and V realized how bad this looked, and it could be taken two different ways. One, Knockout and V had been chasing each other, and Knockout finally got the upper hand, and now B was trapped. Or two, Knockout was trying to, how do the humans say it, rape Bumblebee? Either way, Optimus was going to kill him for even touching Bumblebee.
Okay.
Thoughts, questions?
I
just met you. This is crazy. I'm sorry, that was perfect.
That was good timing on your part, I will admit.
Uh-oh, we got a reply.
Oh, she can't. Alright. That's good. That's good. At least now I don't feel so bad. Okay, so let's see here. I need to find something to comment on that about. There's a lot of sexual tension, and you don't think there would be. Oh, wait.
Oh, we don't have to start this yet.
What were your thoughts?
I really like the end of the chapter. I wasn't ever a big fan of the races in Transformers, but that one was kind of funny because You know, they really were slagged. Optimus and the rest of the team being right behind them the entire time, and then that last part, yeah, he's gonna die.
Okay.
What were your thoughts?
Uh,
I can honestly say that's one of my favorite earliest chapters.
it the more I read this, I'm sorry, but I don't like Bumblebee.
Oh, you've never liked Bumblebee.
I never liked Bumblebee, but this is not making me like Bumblebee. How about that?
Okay, it isn't supposed to make you like Bumblebee. I think it's supposed to make you like every other character but Bumblebee.
Why?
Because you don't like Bumblebee, so you're not gonna ever like Bumblebee. So you might as well like every other character but Bumblebee. Just stop being a little Nancy, suck it up, and can you hand me my soda, please? Thank you, sweetheart.
Yeah. So
Oh, you think that chapter was bad? This one's gonna be 10 times worse.
I know, because you said there might be inappropriate things in it.
Ugh.
I don't know. It's 11:56. Do you want to read one more?
I told you I'm staying till 1.
You said you might.
I can stay till 1.
Okay.
Alright,
well,
then let's read.
Let's finish. Let's do this.
Prisoner of War, Chapter 4. We are all prisoners.
Well, they were at the beginning of this episode.
I think they're all still prisoners. Everybody's a prisoner of war. Like, war is taking everybody prisoner. And it's forcing them to be a part of the war, even though they don't want to be. But they can't go off and enjoy the things they want to do because they are prisoners of war. War itself is being a person. Stop looking at me like that, or I'm going to read this by myself.
No, I'll read it. Trust me, this hasn't been too bad.
We'll take turns.
I don't like Bumblebee. I'm sorry. Okay, so back to the actual story. You're starting off, dear.
Alright. We'll take turns reading. Because I can tell you don't want to read all of it.
No, I can read it.
We'll take turn.
Okay.
I want to read too. I don't want to just sit here all the time.
You don't want to be a voice actor?
Oh, I want to be a voice actor. I'm going to do both.
Okay.
Okay.
You can be the narrator and the voice actor.
Okay.
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 Read.
Okay.
Now.
I'm a delay fish. I'm delaying things. Okay. Optimus. It's not what it looks like.
Knockout called off as he jumped off of B. B slowly moved, his eyes not leaving Optimus. Optimus looked at him, but quickly shifted his eyes to Knockout.
Knockout felt stupid. Here he was laying on top of the last primes bonded. Well, they weren't bonded. Not yet, at least. It was like being caught with the President of the United States cheating on his wife. Sounds really dumb, but that's what it felt like. Usually Knockout was good with words. He used wordplay a lot. But he used this, it's not what it looks like deal.
Bumblebee stood and looked back and forth from Optimus to Knockout. RC and Bulkhead stood a good 10 feet behind Optimus, their guns by their side. Optimus had already transformed his gun back to his hand. He was not going to fight, or he knew Knockout was not dumb enough to try and run during the situation. Do you want me to keep reading?
I don't care.
Okay, very calmly and very smoothly, Optimus walked towards Knockout. He showed no anger, but it still left Knockout unable to move as he watched the Prime walk up to him. B chirped and whirled, but no one heard. B was only a couple feet away from both Optimus and Knockout. But he, too, found himself unable to move. Knockout's eyes closed when Optimus stopped, leaving arm's length between them. Then what was it? Was all Optimus said. Knockout opened his eyes.
What?
Knockout gulped. If it is not what it looks like, Optimus pointed a finger at B, who was staring at Knockout, then what is going on? Optimus's voice turned into a growl. Knockout stepped back and shook his head.
Well, I.
Knockout tried to find his words, but Optimus grew angrier. If Knockout had nothing to say, then he was finished.
Optimus transformed his hand into a sword and held it above his head. Knockout stared up at the sword,
Frozen.
Frozen.
Not swozen.
Shush. Frozen with fear. Beast's spark raced, and his knees began to shake. This was the end of Knockout.
Knockout, Optimus began. Today you are punished for all your crime and treason on Cybertron and Earth. And now kidnapping an officer, threatening his life. Knockout closed his eyes and fell to his knees, holding his head in his hand. Optimus reared back his sword and came down.
But right before the sword came into contact, Optimus stopped.
Bumblebee had found a place between Knockout and the sword.
The sword.
It's a sword. Sword. The very tip of the sword piled off a chip. Plied, not piled, off a chip of Bee's paint. Optimus gasped and immediately pulled back the sword and transformed it back into his hand. Bumblebee! Bumblebee! Optimus asked. Worry filled his face. He feared that he hurt Bee. Bee saw this and smiled. I'm fine, Bee cooed. Ew. I don't like that word, cooed. Bee stepped forward and wrapped his arms around Optimus's waist. Optimus melted into the hug. Forgetting about Knockout, Optimus slumped down to hug Bumblebee since Bee was half the size of him. He rested his cheek on top of Bumblebee's helmet. I've never been better, Bee sighed. Now that I'm with you again. Aww. Ew. Optimus felt Bee's spark throb, and it was so strong it sent the pulse in Optimus's spark, which Optimus's spark, in return, sent the same pulse back to... This is penises, isn't it? They're not hearts. Sparks are also dicks. I missed you, Bee. Optimus sighed. His hot breath on Bee's helmet sent a chill through Bee's body, but it was quickly reassured by Optimus's spark. Bee smiled and pushed himself deeper into... Oh god, this sounds so sexual. Into Optimus's grip. Optimus only called Bumblebee Bee when he was happy, calm, and, well, when they cuddled. I was so worried. What are you talking about? You've been calling him Bee the entire fucking story.
Well, he's been happy the entire fucking story.
Really?
Yeah.
After Bumblebee was...
Yeah, he was happy.
He was like,
he got
yes!
some alone time.
Screw that!
He got some alone time, and then he realized that Bee is his only source of sex. So
now we both know that's a lie.
No, that's the truth. Don't tell me otherwise. Anyway.
Worried, but Bee looked up at him. Oh, come on, Op.
Op?
Really?
Uh-huh.
I'm just a little yellow scout. Optimus hummed a laugh and looked down at Bee with an optic raised. Oh! Oh no, I don't want to read that.
No, you're not. You're my little yellow scout.
Optimus lightly kissed Bee on the cheek. Ugh.
Oh.
Dear God, this is horrible.
No, it's not. It's cute.
It's... Oh. Knockout had gotten up. Oh, sorry. You can read.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't care. You can read.
I need to recover a little.
Alright.
Okay.
Knockout had gotten up and was now standing in front of Optimus. He watched as Optimus showered Bee with love and affection. Knockout was getting a feeling that he had never felt before. Jealousy. Why should Optimus be the one who earned Bee's love? After all, Knockout was the one who saved the Autobots from Megatron and vowed his life to protect him. Bee was too fine and too rare to just go to anyone. But then again, Knockout was happy for Bee, because Optimus wasn't just anyone. He was a prime, the last of the primes. Bee would be with a strong, powerful, handsome bot, and one that loved him.
I can't do Bulkhead. Can you do Bulkhead?
I'll try. What
about the con?
Oh, that's good.
What about the con? Bulkhead asked. As he and RC walked up behind Optimus, Bee pulled away and looked at Knockout. Knockout gulped but sent a small grin back to him.
Finish him?
RC pointed a gun at him. RC looked up at Optimus as it did everyone else. Optimus nodded. Bee buzzed and stomped his foot. No! Bee ran and stood in front of Knockout. You will not harm him in any way, Bee growled. B, step aside. He is a con, a killer. B raised his gun. Bulkhead is right, Optimus said. He has done crimes that are punishable by death. Show some gratitude to the bot who saved me, Optimus, B growled. He stood in front of Megatron's gun to save me. B backed up into Knockout and took him by the hand. He was the one who brought me here. If it was not for him, I would be dead, and that's a fact. Is this true, Knockout? Optimus asked, as he signed the others to put down their guns.
Yes.
Knockout looked down. Optimus turned and looked at Bulkhead and RC. I do not have the spark to take the life of the bot that's it.
Your mother's contacting you on Facebook.
I'm going to ignore that. I do not have the spark to take the life of the man that saved Bumblebee, even if he is a Decepticon. Optimus started walking towards the road. Bumblebee and RC right behind him. B chirped and whirled, turning around and hugging Knockout. Knockout used one arm to hug back.
Oh, sorry. Thanks. Thanks, B.
Knockout said as B pulled away. B looked him in the eyes. We're even now. B tilted his head.
You can't come back with me.
Knockout said. B protested as Knockout started to push him away. What? B raised his hands. Megatron will kill you. It has not even been a day since he told you he would kill you if you lost me.
Psh.
Knockout laughed.
He won't kill me. I'm the only medic and scientist the cons have.
Knockout told B. You don't know that. B cooed. Stop cooing! I am not going to be the cause of your death.
It's a little too early to be talking like that, B.
Knockout looked to his left at the raising cliffs of Jasper.
Plus, B, if anything is going to kill me, I'm sure it will be you.
B looked away and sighed. You're not going back to Megatron, are you?
No.
Knockout smirked and looked back at B. Bumblebee! Optimus called. B turned and saw Optimus and the others in car mode waiting for him by the road.
Let's go!
RC yelled. B nodded and turned back towards Knockout. Where will you go? B asked.
To find Starscream. He needs me more than ever at this point. Right now, we're all each other has.
You have me, Knockout? B stepped forward and took Knockout's hand again. Always.
I was really hoping you would say that.
Knockout smiled.
I will be around whenever you need me or want me.
Oh, God.
Say it.
I won't need you, B looked down, but I will always want you. B smiled as he looked down. Knockout leaned forward. Oh! Oh, no!
Would you like me to tackle this?
Ah, yes, please.
Knockout leaned forward and kissed B right on the edge of the mouth. B closed his eyes and sighed. Knockout pulled away and let his hands wander on B's neck and on the back of his helmet. Stay close to Optimus, B. He loves you and he can protect you. He can give you everything you need and want, and you cannot deny it. Knockout closed his eyes too, and I know you love him just as much.
Knockout, what am I gonna do without you? B opened his eyes, as did Knockout.
Oh, come on. You've only known me for one day.
Knockout smirked. What can I say? B laughed. B looked into Knockout's eyes. Why don't you stay here with us?
I don't like fighting, remember?
Knockout rolled his eyes. B rolled his too, but sighed. You don't have to fight. You can work in Ratchet with the lab. In the lab.
When did they get a dog? Get it, because the lab's a type of dog. Hey!
Facepalm you. B told him, you won't be in the field. That's not the... Oh, sorry.
That's not the fighting I was talking about.
Knockout looked at Optimus, then back at B.
There are some things worth fighting for, after all.
B looked back at the ground and sighed again.
You're one of them.
B, come on!
You sound like
Bulkhead.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery!
Bulkhead yelled. B looked over at him. Knockout pulled B's chin not to look at him.
Oh, I'm sorry, B.
Knockout said,
Like I said, I will be around if you want to talk.
B nodded.
And I will always be waiting for your call.
So call me, baby.
Hey, I just met you.
B nodded and kept his head down. He listened to Knockout as he stepped back and transformed. B quickly looked up. Knockout was already gone. Dun dun dun! It's actually a horror story.
Knockout's a ghost.
B turned and transformed, racing towards Optimus. Optimus took to the road, letting Bulkhead and RC get ahead of him and B. B drove as close as he could to Optimus. Knockout is leaving Megatron, B told Optimus as they drove.
Is that so? Optimus hummed. I never saw him as much of a fighter.
You have no idea. B laughed. Optimus sighed and slowed down.
Ugh.
B worried that Optimus was mad at him. Optimus? B called, slowing down with him. What's wrong?
Nothing, B. I am perfectly fine.
Optimus said. He used B. Good. That meant he was either calm or happy. Maybe, just maybe, they would be cuddling.
Later, of course.
I am just happy you're safe.
Oh, Optimus, you have no idea. I missed you like crazy. B beeped happily. I heard your spark. Oh, God.
You did?
Optimus asked. Yeah, B said. Optimus didn't say anything else. He had a bad habit of doing that. It was not long before B and Optimus arrived at base. Ratchet was waiting by his computers, and when he saw B drive in with Optimus, he hardly gave B enough time to transform back before the old medic wrapped him up in a hug and asked all the following questions.
Are you okay? Did they hurt you?
What was that? It sounded like Optimus.
Are you okay? Did they hurt you? Optimus.
No. Optimus. No. B simply nodded and rubbed his helmet into Ratchet's chest. Optimus stood by and watched. It was rare to see Ratchet like this. Bulkhead and RC would have given the medic a hard time about it. But they were out getting the kids. Raph would be dying to see B, and Miko and Jack, too. I said Miko, what the fuck? B sucked in the smell of Ratchet. It was the smell of his sire. B smelled like fresh oil.
Ratchet smelled like fresh oil.
Ratchet smelled like fresh oil and unused energon. Optimus turned and started walking towards his room without saying a word. B pulled away and watched him leave. Ratchet stepped back, looking down at his son.
B,
Ratchet started.
I think we need to have a talk.
B smiled up and looked at him. Ratchet led B into his lab. I thought it said lap for a second. B took a seat on the nearest berth, and Ratchet sat down in his doctor's seat. I know you are tired. I'll make this short and simple. Yes, B watched Ratchet with unsure eyes.
Optimus loves you.
I know, and I love him.
And?
Ratchet waved his hands. Great, this whole game. I want to be with him, and I want to bond with him, and I want to have his sparkling one day.
And?
I would do anything for him. B shook his head. Anything.
I approve.
Ratchet said calmly. B's doors, wings, and eyes shot up.
Oh, God.
Hey, it's a wing boner.
Oh, God.
What?
You and Optimus have my blessing.
It seemed hard to say, but Ratchet did not regret it. B jumped up and landed on Ratchet's lap. Ratchet groaned and flinched. B landed right on his soft spot. B is too big to be acting like this, especially now that B was technically sort of engaged.
About time, B laughed.
You knew?
Ratchet asked. Optimus asked for my blessing, but I did not think he asked you to bond yet. Oh, he didn't ask. I knew he would never ask without your blessing, B giggled. He is so out of fashion. Ratchet hummed and hugged B lightly before B jumped off his lap. I'm going to go talk to him. Okay, B. Okay, B. Okay, B. Ratchet sighed. Ratchet, did you have friends that were Decepticons? You know, before the war? B asked before leaving. Yes, I did, Ratchet said as he looked over a datapad. But that changed fast. Why? They were dead to me the moment they put you in danger, Ratchet growled. No, that was... They were dead to me the moment they put you in danger, Ratchet growled, still not looking up. B's spark flatlined for a minute. You gave your friendships up for me? I gotta fight for my friendships!
Jibby.
Friends don't point guns at my charge and live to tell the tale. Ratchet finally looked up. I'm sorry. B looked down. Ratchet sat back in his chair and grinned. You are sorry? Ratchet shook his head. Are you sorry for giving me hope? Are you sorry for giving the others hope? Primus B, you've got knockout hope. Crap. Ratchet was on open comm link, so he heard about knockout saving him. Are you sorry that you met Optimus and are going to be his mate? No! B shouted and stumped his foot. I'm glad. No, I am proud to be who I am. B turned and started walking away. And I am about to show you how I feel about being Optimus's fiancé. B laughed. Ratchet snorted and shook his head. I don't need details, he said. Then he turned his attention to the datapad. It was bad enough knowing his sparkling was going to bond.
They're bonding, get it?
I tell what?
Where are we? B smiled and happily knocked on Optimus's door. Optimus answered it within seconds and looked down at the small yellow scouts. Are you going to let me in? Or what? B smiled and put his hands on his hips. Optimus smiled and opened the door all the way. He bowed and lowered his head in respect as B walked in. B simply rolled his eyes and walked over to Optimus's berth and sat down. Optimus was right behind him, but he stood in front of B and looked down at him. Bumblebee sighed and looked up.
Ratchet gave us his blessing, B
B
told.
told.
Optimus nodded and got down on one knee. I figured that he wanted to talk to you about. Are you okay with this? Optimus asked. Or better yet, do you want to? B shook his head and smirked. Ask me the right way, B said. Now is not the time to forget your manners. Really? Okay then. Optimus cleared his throat. Bumblebee, will you do me the honor of being my spark mate? B crossed his legs and tilted his head. He reached forward and cupped Optimus's chin in his hand. Oh, this is happening all too fast, B joked. But yeah, it's about time. Optimus smiled and leaned into B's touch. What do you say, B?
Oh, crap! No!
We lost our place.
I hit the back button.
We'll never
man.
know. We'll never know.
Wait, we'll find it.
Nope, we'll never
We'll
know.
find it.
We're never gonna find out.
Yeah, we'll
Nope,
find
they're
it.
not gonna frag. They are not gonna frag.
Here we go.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
Come on.
Oh, buck. Yes, B smiled and nodded. Yes, I will be your mate, Optimus. Optimus smiled and sighed, closing his eyes and standing to his full height. It's time for sexual voice, because this is going to be very sexual. He picked up B and turned in circles, while placing soft kisses down B's neck. B closed his eyes and moaned lightly. Oh god, this is getting nasty. He wrapped his legs tightly around Optimus's waist and clawed at his shoulders. B found his way to Optimus's lips and sucked in his breath. Optimus felt B starting pulling him down, asking to lay on his berth. Optimus obeyed his command. He laid B down, crawling on top of him. Neither one stopped kissing for a second. PG-13, people.
Actually, this one's rated M.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. If you look at the rating at the top, we're not going to go back to the top because you'll lose your place. And I keep rating.
Pain filled B's neck as Optimus bit down on it.
No.
Oh, sorry. Optimus's hands went down to B's hips and held them down. B groaned, and Optimus was roughed. But it was not his fault. Things were hard for B and Optimus due to the big size difference. Optimus was easy and soft. B had to be harder and do things with more force, which neither one could disagree with. B moved his arms and hands down and around Optimus's sides, rubbing the plating and wires. It sent chills through Optimus, and B felt it. He shivered in response. Pain filled B's neck as Optimus bit down on it, causing B to buck his hips upward. The pain was not bad. In fact, it was replaced with Optimus's glossa licking at the bite. Optimus knew it hurt B, and this was his way to make it up for him. B pulled Optimus back up to his face. Optimus just gave B an idea. B slammed his lips to Optimus and pushed his glossa into Optimus's mouth. Optimus snorted in surprise, but quickly picked up on what he was doing. Optimus allowed his own glossa to scan over B's mouth.
You okay?
I'm dying here.
Would you like me to take over for a little
No,
bit?
I got this. I got the more sexier voice. B
Oh.
slowly moved. I'm kidding, dear. I love you.
I love you too.
I'm dying. You're probably being aroused by this.
No comment.
Optimus, allowed his own glossa to scan over B's mouth. B slowly moved his legs inside Optimus's inner thigh, causing Optimus to growl and buck. B pulled his glossa back out, in fear that Optimus might bite again. Optimus reached down and between B's legs and tapped on his port cover. B panted and bucked towards his hands. Optimus taped 2 more times. B tapped. B only bucked and moaned again. Optimus growled. B gulped into Optimus's kiss. Optimus was about to rip the cover off, but he tapped once more, and it slid open with ease. B smirked and pulled out of Optimus's kiss. He was going to see just how much Optimus could take. B pulled away from Optimus and pushed him over. Optimus flopped on his back. B took his spot on top. B purred and leaned down and placed wet, licky kisses all the way from Optimus's neck to his spike cover.
Do you need a moment?
No, I think I got this.
Are you sure?
I think I can do this. Optimus arched his back and rubbed B's helmet. B placed 3 kisses on Optimus's cover to make it open, and out popped Optimus's spike. B was not all surprised at all about its size. He always pictured Optimus having a giant spike. After all, he was the biggest Autobot to live since Primus knows when. Now, B was smart, and he maybe knew some tricks that he learned from Earth's internet. B took Optimus's spike and stuffed it in his mouth, sucking lightly, circling his glossa around it. Optimus growled and clamped his hands down on B's helmet. It was not long enough before Optimus had enough and pulled B back up to his chest, holding the small Autobot above him and lining B's port up to his spike. With one fast move, B came crashing down on Optimus's spike. Optimus released his grip on B's arms and moved to his hips, helping the young one guide himself up and down on Optimus's spike. B leaned back, forcing Optimus to hold his weight, but Optimus didn't mind.
Wait a second.
What?
So is B not a virgin then? Because every fanfic I've read, it hurts when that happens, and then they go at it like wild beasts. So wouldn't
Maybe
technically not be a virgin though?
maybe Knockout accidentally penetrated when they fell on top of each other.
Ooh. That would be interesting. No. I don't know. It just always struck me as odd. Anyway.
Oh, that struck you as odd? I mean, I've been weirded out for the last 30 minutes. Every time. Oh, God. B leaned back, forcing Optimus to hold his weight. But Optimus didn't mind, and he hardly noticed he was doing it. B moaned and beeped wildly. Every time he came down on Optimus, a wave of energy jolted through his body. B finally leaned forward and rested his head on Optimus' chest as Optimus thrust it into him. Inside Optimus' chest, B heard every tick, click, and pulse in his spark. And something clicked in B's mind. They were in the middle of mating, you could say. They had forgotten about bonding. Bonding most of the time came first. Like humans say, marriage before sex.
Okay, I just want to point something out. When I had my ponyfy on, that said, like ponies say, marriage before sex.
But unlike humans, bots could do both at the same time. But it took a lot of energy. But at this point, B did not care. Plus, it would hardly affect Optimus' energy levels. B reached down to unhook his chest plating right before he could. Optimus flipped them over, so B was on the bottom now. B felt Optimus go deeper and a bit harder. Must have been easier for him to do it this way. In between moans and gasps, B reached for his chest again, moaning and grunting at every move Optimus made. Optimus slowed down when he heard his own chest plating unhook. He looked down at the two bright lights shining between them, one from B and the other from him. B guessed that was when Optimus realized that they didn't bond, because he said a cuss word or two before undoing his panting breath. Under his panting breath. B smiled and closed his eyes as he brought his spark close to Optimus's. The sparks seemed to already know each other, pulled towards each other, Optimus' speed picking back up, and so did his effort. B pulled Optimus down onto his chest, forcing their sparks together. Now, normally, sparks had to slowly and carefully come together, but B and Optimus were different. Optimus' spark remembered a small beating of B's spark as he rested against Optimus when he was a sparkling, not smarkling. And B's spark remembered Optimus when he was scared, and the prime spark would calm him all those years ago. So, as if longtime lovers, their spikes came together. Double pleasure filled their bodies as Optimus hit his climax, sending a wild and untamed jolt of energy through him and B. It left B in a state where he could hardly move. Optimus collapsed on top of B, pushing their sparks further together. Optimus felt all his strength and energy go to his spark. B felt it too, but he was too tired to show it, until all their energy exploded through their sparks, sending B arcing his body, cussing and screaming in pure pleasure. Optimus did the same, but held it in some. Optimus managed to turn over and lay next to B. B looked at him. With his last bit of strength, he said, "I love you, Optimus." B smiled, and with that, B went into automatic recharge. Optimus smiled and kissed his forehead. "I love you too, my B." Optimus closed B's port and chest, and then closed his own covers. He sighed and laid back down with B. Optimus was beyond happy. He was in haven. But it was going to be so awkward tomorrow if Ratchet, his closest friend, finds out they had mated and bonded at the same time, all in the same night. And even more awkward if RC and Bulkhead, Bumblehead. Hey, and the kids would have to be told and explained how it worked for Transformers. The next morning came too fast. Optimus flipped over in his berth, but quickly shot up when he realized he was alone. B had left, but Optimus sighed and flopped back down on his berth. He sent out a small pulse through his brand new bond with B. His pulse was quickly answered by B's spark. B was in or around base, that was for sure. Optimus sighed once again. He closed his eyes, ready to get maybe just another hour's sleep, but another pulse through the bond told Optimus to get up, and B would be there in a short few minutes. Optimus smiled. He already knew who the boss in this relationship was. So Optimus listened to B's orders and got up.
B had hardly gotten up V had gotten up really early and went to the top of the base to watch the sunrise. He sat there with his knees to his chest and his arms wrapped around him. He had just texted Raph. I don't know how to do Raph's voice. It's kind of squeaky.
B, I'm so happy you're okay.
That's V's voice. Whatever.
B, I'm so happy you're okay. Bulkhead and RC brought us back to the base last night, but Ratchet said you were in bed. I was really worried. Ratchet told me you were fine, just tired.
Raph texted. He had to get up for school, and he always texted B when he got ready.
Always listen to Ratchet, Raph.
No. Always listen to Ratchet, Raph. I'm just fine. Just tired, like you said. I'm sorry I was not up when you came by. I really wanted to see you.
I know how you feel. I know how you felt, but it's actually feel. I'm sorry. Texting is hard. I really wanted to see you too, but it's okay. It's Friday. We can hang out after school and the whole weekend. Are you picking me up to take me to school?
I can. RC and Jack said they would. I just call-linked her. B felt awful about that. He could go get Raph if he wanted to. But he didn't want to, so he told RC that Ratchet was running some tests on him, so she said it okay. But honestly, he was a little sore from his night with Optimus. But it's what he gets for being with a bot twice his size.
Okay, see you after school then.
B didn't text back after that one. He just stared out over Jasper, as the sun came into view. He wondered if Knockout had found Starscream yet, and if the old Seeker was even happy to see him. B wished Knockout was here right now. He wanted to tell him about his and Optimus's magical night. But then, Knockout wouldn't want to hear about that. Because Knockout pretty much came out and told B he liked him. B sighed and chirped to himself. He was happy to be back. He really was. He was with his family and friends, and now his lover. Ugh. B couldn't get used to the bond. It was too cool. He could tell Optimus things, and Optimus could talk to him as well. Plus, they could track each other, which would help them both.
Miss me yet?
A fuzzy voice came in through B's comlink. That voice! Oh, it was Knockout. Talk about good timing. Knockout! B laughed. How did you get my radio frequency? It's frequency.
I have my ways.
Knockout sighed.
You sound tired.
You have no idea, Knockout.
Optimus yelling at you all night?
Something like that, B smirked. Did you find Starscream?
Yes, turns out he's been just outside the state line.
Oh, that's not too far.
V, Jasper, Nevada is only 10 miles from the state line. He didn't go anywhere.
I see. Well, what are you guys going to do?
Make out hardcore.
Have lots of fragging.
Well, after hours of talking, well, more like fighting, we decided to head over to where that old Decepticon carrier ship is. Its systems still work, and I can fix up the parts that don't.
Are you talking about that ship where we captured Starscream in the first place? B giggled.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Knockout hummed, I wish you would come with us.
Oh, Knockout, I can't. My ties are here, and personally, this is where I want to be.
I understand.
Knockout sighed as well. Hey, Bucko, what?
I think that's legit.
Who's that saying?
It's B.
Hey, Bucko, I remember where that ship is. It's only 30, maybe 40 miles away from me. I could come visit if that's okay with you and your partner.
The door is always open for you, V.
Knockout said, coolly.
I got to go. The Seeker is getting angry again.
He half laughed as he ended the comlink. B smiled and stood. Optimus would be up, looking for him now, since the bond told him to get up. But then he frowned as he looked for the land. Everything that had happened in the last 2 days was a rude awakening for Bumblebee. He had been labeled as a prisoner of war, but even when freed, nothing had changed. This damned war made everyone a prisoner. Autobots and Decepticons alike gave up their freedom, rights, home, family, friends, and their whole life to this war. Knockout and Starscream may have seemed foolish to go off alone, but they are the only ones who ever escape this war. While Optimus, B, and all the Team Prime, as well as Megatron, Soundwave, and the entire Con Army are the real prisoners. We are all prisoners.
of war. War never changes. And the something, the nuclear holocaust was imminent.
So, thoughts?
No, I don't want to read another one. No.
Oh, sorry,
no,
fine, we're
I'm
gonna
not.
read
No,
one more.
no,
We gotta
no
read
more.
one
No,
more.
no,
We gotta
no,
read one more.
no,
Yes,
no,
yes,
no,
yes.
no,
I'll read it then.
no,
Yes.
no. We're not reading. No, no,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
no. It's time for thoughts.
No. It's okay, fine. Time
It's
for thoughts.
time for thoughts.
Food for thought.
Okay, so I don't think I really have to explain my opinion, do I?
Not unless you want to reiterate what you've already said.
I mean, I've basically already said ew, 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 ew.
You're not one for sticky interfacing, are you?
Ew, ew. Not with, ew. I just don't.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as the entire Apple family. Don't play with my belly button.
Well, yeah, that's true. It is a lot better than the Apple family. Still, just.
Hey, this is crazy. And I just met you. B, this is crazy. And I just met you. But let's have.
I definitely did not. I mean, at the very start, they described Optimus as being all like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you," and then he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna kill you because you said the most, overused line whenever something bad happens and someone's in trouble."
No, he was still gonna kill him. Then B got in the way. If B hadn't gotten in the way, he would have killed him.
Oh yeah, definitely. But still, I mean.
Alright, then what does it look like? What? What does it look like? If it's not what it appears to be, what does it look like? Sex? That would have been the wrong answer.
I definitely expected it to go a different way. I definitely expected, like, B to do something crazy and not, like, make out with Knockout or something.
No comment on that one. Because I already know what's going to happen, so it's not fair for me to tell you what's already going to happen, because I already know what's going to happen, and darkness and redness and whiteness.
It is good to know that this is during the time that Starscream was, by himself, so that kind of makes sense. That kind of works.
Well, anything after chapter 20 or episode 20 is Starscream by himself. I mean, most fanfics have Starscream by himself, because we like the idea, as fangirls, we like the idea of Rogue Starscream. It gives him that extra, how do I want to put this?
Badassery.
Badassery, I like that word. Because, let's face it, Starscream's a badass. My thoughts on the chapter, while Kevin goes to blow his nose, is I like it. Chapter 4 is one of my favorites, just because of the fact that it's, even though it's interfacing, it's more than just interfacing. It's cute. It's cuddly. I like it.
It was kind of cute. I will admit it was kind of cute. But I guess the whole problem is I'm not a Transformers fan like you. And
No.
I can't picture it just as well. I mean, unfortunately, I could picture the entire Apple family fucking Twilight. And, needless to say. We've already read that.
Established that.
Yeah, I mean, I can actually picture that, unfortunately. Not that I want to. But, yeah, I mean, I can't really picture Transformers, first of all, having sex. Second of all, being all cuddly like that.
Oh, why not? I mean, they're giant alien robots with emotion. Why can't they be all cuddly and lovey and, just
I didn't
like
say they
humans?
couldn't, I can't.
What are you saying? That robots can't love because they have no heart? They have sparks. That's good enough. Your eyes are really pretty. Mwah.
Your eyes are also really pretty. And no, I'm just saying I can't imagine it. I can't picture it in my mind because I look at giant robots as giant robots.
Well, we look at them as people.
I look at them like giant robots. I know, I was trying to look at them like it was a personal moment, or,
You should do it. When I started reading Transformers fanfic, I imagined them as their human forms. That would not be good for you, though, because that would still be yaoi, and you are kind of neutral on the whole yaoi front, I do believe.
I'm kind of meh against it. I'm not really against it, I'm just meh. I mean,
Don't say the A word. Never say the A word.
I am aroused by it.
Okay, that you're allowed to say.
Not really, I'm joking.
Oh
And
my gosh.
Oh
Princess
god.
and Queens just wrote a new story.
Oh man, I don't even wanna.
We should, just because, it's her birthday, and she just put out the story, I think we should read it.
Oh jeez.
It's just a one-shot.
It's a. What? Hi.
It's a one-shot, and it's got...
Okay, we'll read it.
It's got knockout in it.
We'll read it.
Alright, are you ready?
This is an excerpt, or this is an extra bonus content. Yay, bonus content!
Because we just saw that Princess of Queens putting out a new story. The player gets played.
Yeah!
Universe Transformers Prime, rating PG.
And of course it has Knockout and Bumblebee as the main characters, because I don't know.
Because Knockout and Bumblebee would make an excellent couple. I don't care what you say.
I disagree.
Well, I disagree with your disagreement, but I love and tolerate
disagree
you.
because I love and tolerate you.
I love and tolerate you.
I love and tolerate you. Knockout moaned and squeezed his eyes shut when he felt sunlight hit him. He kicked out his legs, only to realize he was laying on the grass floor of a meadow. One arm was beside his head, clearly being used as a pillow, while he felt his other arm wrapped up around something warm and small. At first he just sighed and turned his head away from the sunlight, not wanting to wake up. Maybe it was due to the fact that he had the worst hangover he had ever had. His head was pounding 100 miles an hour, and the sunlight only fueled that. He heard a soft sigh coming from the object lying in his arms. He opened his eyes and he looked over his side.
Oh my Primus.
He gasped. What is our problem? Knockout heard a small voice come from the Autobot curled up in his arms.
Bumblebee?
Knockout tilted his head. Yes, the young Autobot beeped back.
What are you doing here?
Knockout asked, not getting angry or upset. Are you kidding? Bumblebee laughed, sitting up on his elbows. Last night was amazing. I didn't know you could move like that.
Move like what?
Got the move like Jack.
I got the moves like Jack.
Knockout jumped to his feet and put his hands on his hips. Do you not remember anything from last night? Bumblebee stood up and crossed his arms.
I can honestly say I do not.
Knockout rubbed his chin. Bumblebee was merely shrugging and looking down at the ground. Well, that's understandable. You were so wasted. What the?
Advertisement.
Okay. I really didn't think you could have transformed last night, even if you were tired.
That bad, huh?
Knockout hummed. Yes, you were the worst out of all your friends, Bumblebee pointed. Knockout groaned and slapped his hand on his forehead.
Shit!
When did he say slag? Knockout rolled his eyes.
Where in the hell are they?
Bumblebee looked away, thinking the last place he saw them. Well, Breakdown is just beyond those trees. He wanted you to have some alone time with your mate-to-be. What?
Wait!
Knockout lunged forward and grabbed Bumblebee by the shoulders. You go ahead.
Mind running that by me again?
You heard me, Bumblebee stuttered. Last night you asked me to bond with you, and I said yes.
Oh, this is such controversy to what we just read. How in the hell did you end up here anyway?
Knockout hissed. I was out and about, doing my own thing, when you and Arachnid showed up. You were both drunk as hell. I smiled a high grade on you. You were like a love-struck puppy when you saw me, so I tagged along with you guys. You stayed with me all night.
Arachnid?
Knockout snorted.
Where is she?
Spooning with Breakdown, no doubt. Those two seem to be liking each other a little too much toward the end of the night.
Ever heard of TMI?
Knockout turned away from Bumblebee and looked around the meadow.
Where are we?
Knockout asked. Somewhere in Washington State.
What? By the Allspark, how did we end up here?
Knockout sat down on a nearby rock. Bumblebee shifted his weight to one leg and folded his hands behind his back, his eyes watching Knockout's every move. Soundwave, well, a very buzzed Soundwave ground-bridged us here. He is still in the ship, I'm guessing. He came to party a little but left early.
Oh man,
Knockout sighed.
Megatron is going to kill us.
I wouldn't be so sure of that, Knockout. Bumblebee giggled. Knockout's eyes shot up at Bumblebee.
Why is that?
He mocked the question. Bumblebee walked over to the bushes and pushed them out of the way. He looked down the hill by a large river. Come look, Bumblebee said. Knockout slowly walked over to Bumblebee and looked down at the river. In the middle of the river was a rock, and on this rock rested Megatron. Megatron's body did not fit all the way on the rock, but his waist, from the waist down, was in the water. Oh, and would you look who is with him? Bumblebee joked. Knockout looked up at Bumblebee for a second, before looking back at Megatron. Curled up on the Warlord's chest was Starscream. Knockout and Bumblebee could see the Seeker purring over Megatron snorting, barely. Knockout was looking over at Bumblebee, who smiled back at him.
Were you drunk too?
Knockout asked.
You had to be in order to say yes to bonding with me.
I was not as bad as you guys were, if that's what you mean. I was out running around last night because Optimus didn't allow high grade in base. Not at all. So I have a private stash just outside of town. You guys caught me on my way back.
You know we really can't be bonded, right? We can't even be friends.
Knockout put a hand on Bumblebee's shoulder. Please, Bumblebee rolled his eyes. I was just looking for a one-night stay. I
Damn,
was getting a
Bumblebee.
little bored with the other Autobots. I needed something a little different.
What? You used me? But you are the one that agreed to bond with me.
Pretty much, Bumblebee nodded. Any bot foolish enough to ask someone to bond with them the first time they meet is pretty dumb to let me in his pants, figuratively speaking. Plus, if I said yes, there's no way you would turn down the chance to interface with me. Bumblebee turned and started jogging away, but when he got to the end of the meadow, he turned back and smirked. Make sure to wake your friends. Optimus and my team may just show up any time. Bumblebee winked at Knockout. Knockout took a step back and growled, his eyes narrowing onto Bumblebee, while Bumblebee just smiled and hummed a small, soft laugh.
I can't believe this. I just got played and used by an Autobot.
No.
Ah! This is absolutely the worst thing that could ever happen.
This is absolutely the most worst possible thing. Okay, now I don't know about you, but this is not helping my opinion of Bumblebee at the slightest. This just made him look kind of like a whore. No, actually, no, slut would be a better term because whores do it for money. It was good to see Megatron and Starscream together, I guess.
Yeah, I like seeing those two together when
On
they're
a
not,
rock.
like... Yeah, that was weird.
In the
Like
middle
Megatron.
of a lake.
I can imagine that, though.
And I don't like
Breakdown in Arachnid.
I don't like Arachnid.
I don't like Arachnid either.
For some reason, I can only imagine that as Breakdown, like, tied up using spider webs and RC raping him.
Why would RC be raping him?
Not RC, Arachnid. Sorry. RC would not be raping him. RC would be like, I don't want to date you. You're too bulky.
Did you not see the last mech she was with? It was Cliffjumper. Cliffjumper was an idiot. Don't at me. Don't at me. Stop that. So I think we're gonna call this a night.
Yeah, let's call it a night here.
I'm secondary character.
I'm Axelsims.
And we're
No, actually, you're now a secondary character from DA. That's her YouTube name
I'm
now.
secondary from DA.
Secondary from DA. Sorry. was secondary character, but she changed hers. I don't know.
No, it wasn't. It was.
Da.
No. It was going to be secondary character, but somebody already has that name.
Da.
Made me very sad.
Da. No, I thought you meant like secondary character from DA.
No, it's secondary from DA.
Well, okay, anyway. So, yeah, if you ever see her, comment on my channel or anything like that. It's her, so, make sure to spam her posts with stuff. Like,
telling me how awesome and epic and amazing I am.
Or tell her to go make you a sandwich.
Go read my fanfic too. No.
Yeah. Alright.
Don't do that.
Alright.
It's not
we're,
worth your
we're going
time.
to call it. We're going to call it.
Wait! I have one more thing to say.
Oh, by the way, just so everyone knows, I'm going to be reading her fanfics one day.
No! No! You wouldn't dare.
It'll be very interesting.
You wouldn't dare.
I'm going to.
You wouldn't dare.
You're making me read this. I'm going to read yours too.
No.
Yes.
No.
You were going to say something?
No.
Alright. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.